Welcome to the Living in Utah live question and answer show. Thursday evening. I try to make it every Thursday. How's everyone doing in the state of Utah? It's doing fantastic. Weather-wise, we have actually cooled off a little bit. 80s, 90-degree temperatures. We were up in the high 90s, 100 degrees in northern Utah, southern Utah. We were 110, 115. It's cooled off a little bit. Las Vegas had some very, very hot temperatures. I think they've actually cooled off a little bit down there. I think they're more about 105 right now. They were up there around 115, 120. Very, very hot. If you do live in the state of Utah and the temperature gets, if you're in northern Utah and the temperature gets a little too warm, you can head to the mountains. The mountains above Ogden, Salt Lake, Provo. You want even cooler temperatures? Head up to the Uinta Mountains, just on the Utah-Wyoming border, couple-hour drive. Yes, there are 9,000 plus altitude areas. It will drop off considerably. Great place to take a hike or mountain bike ride, etc., etc. Cool off. I used to do that. Every July the 4th, we would go to the Uintas for the day, have beautiful temperatures, and then come home in the evening and watch the fireworks from one of the local parks. We did that many years. It reminds me of, there was a country song, and I'm not too sure what it was called, but the lyrics, something about you put the tailgate down and then the party starts. But that's exactly what we would do. We had all our stuff in the back of the pickup truck, come back into town, put the tailgate down, get the cooler out and sit on the back of the tailgate and watch the fireworks. So yeah, great times. I haven't been up there in a while. So I want to talk tonight about inflation. Yeah, that terrible thing. I don't know anyone who's happy with inflation. And we've had a lot of inflation lately. There's good news on the inflation front. The July numbers have been released. They call it the CPI numbers, Consumer Price Index. That particular number for July came out at 2.9%. Why is that significant, Mike? Well, if you would like to see interest rates go down, that number needs to drop. In June, we were in the 3% range as comparison. So we have been coming down. The government, so during the pandemic, we peaked at 9.1% inflation, almost 10% inflation. Crazy numbers. The Federal Reserve, the policymakers, the man in charge, they want to see numbers around 2%. And they've stated that for probably the last year at least. They want to see 2% inflation. Until that time, they would not lower interest rates. And they have not lowered interest rates over the last year. Now, you may notice that the mortgage rate has gone up and down. It's no different. It's based off other numbers, not the Fed fund rate, 100%. Anyways, their long-term target basically is 2%. And we're there. We're 2.9%. We're almost there. Probably if we continue on the trajectory that we are now, we should be, lower than July, hopefully in August. At that point, the Federal Reserve will look, they've announced this. They will look at interest rates. Now, big question I get is, how far interest rates going to drop? Well, I don't think you're going to see anything significant. The 3% loans, like I said before, that was a once-in-a-lifetime deal. We may never see that again. And you have to remember, why did we have 3% loans? Because we shut down our economy, literally shut the economy down. We closed gyms, restaurants, most businesses. In some states, nearly all businesses were closed. So to spur the economy, drastic measures had to be taken. We're not in that mode right now. But if we have another COVID situation on our door, or some other major event, maybe it'll have to happen again. So best guess, maybe 1/4%. They're going to go very, very slow. That's for sure. They want to stick to that 2% range. So if you took a whole 1 percentage point off, they might be nervous that that might just boost the inflation. The inflation numbers may just start to go the opposite direction, then towards the downward slope. So my guess is you're going to see very small decreases, and they're going to view it this month, this month, this month, and they're going to rely on all this data. What's the numbers? Are we going to stay still? They want to kind of stabilize. They want to get to a point at where they can provide a little bit of relief in a sense, but also keep inflation under control. So this article is very interesting. A couple things I want to hit upon on the article also. Might be a little bit of a shock. It was a little bit of a shock for me on some items. The report listed what the inflation numbers have been year to year. From July of 2023 to July of 2024 on different items. And some items, like food, 2.2%. Food at home, 1.1%. Baby formula, 4.6%. Here's where some of the numbers can, really ring home. Items that most Americans need on a regular basis. Electricity, 4.9%, almost 5% over a year increase. Gas service was 1.5%. So that's below the inflation line. Motor vehicle insurance. Your car insurance, 18.6%, almost 20% over the last year. So if you're paying $1,000 a month to insure your car, this year, that's taken a $180 increase on average. That is a very high number. Indoor plants and flowers, 10.6%. Pet supplies, 6.6%. Laundry, dry cleaning services, 5.7%. Rent, when you have to go rent an apartment, rent a house, 5.1%. Daycare and preschool, 5.1%. Dental services, 5%. Some of these items are, we use all the time, monthly. Maybe not the dentist, but some of the other items we use on a monthly basis, like car insurance and rent and baby formula and cigarettes, 8.5%. Admission to sporting events, 8.8% increase over the last year. I would love to know, are they noticing attendance at sporting events? Is it decreasing or is it increasing? That's something I would love to know. I know personally, I bought some NFL tickets here for a game in October. I'm going to head out of state, and I thought it was very, very expensive. Just the Ticketmaster fees, I think, it's $150 a ticket, somewhere around there per ticket. I think I spent like $450 just in fees for the tickets. I think it's very expensive to go to an NFL game. So, but I'm only attending one NFL game this year, so I guess it's not so bad. I'm not going to 16, 17 games, but take advantage of some of the teams in the local states. Anyone have any questions this evening? How are you doing with the inflation? High, low, doing okay? For me personally, I'm shocked when I'm at the grocery store. Quite honestly, some items you pick up and you're like, wow, that's $5. Whew. It's shocking. It's shocking. So I've noticed some of the items that maybe buy on a regular basis, milk and fruit, I've seen the prices pretty much stabilize, come down a little bit. Not too bad, but some other items, woo, boy. Cleaning supplies, I think have shot up enormously at the grocery store. But anyways, hope everyone has a great weekend. Take care and stay safe.